So once I was back in Moscow, safe and sound and settled, then I started going back to that punk club, Night School, where I DJed with Sasha, and I absolutely loved it there. So I was going there about 3 times a week, and then got really friendly with all the people that go there, the punks, the bands, and especially the staff that work there as well. And then they ended up trusting me, so they said one day, here you go, you can have the keys and you can watch the place for the day. Do us a favour. So I was like, yeah, definitely. So then after that I ended up helping out, like we went shopping to buy stuff for the bar, then I was DJing like quite regularly, and then one of the guys that works there, Buggy, he just said, why don't you just stay at mine? So then I ended up like staying at Buggy's and then going to the club every day. So they'd open the club the day that I arrived and DJed there, so I was there literally the whole month, just like being part of this little punk club music scene, and I absolutely adored it, and I got really close with a lot of the people there. Just fell in love with the place completely. I'm gonna miss it a lot. So then one of the nights, randomly coming up at the end of the week, Buggy and his band Cretin Boys had a gig coming up at the club, so they were going to be playing with Mighty Birds and Beer Wheels, 2 bands from out of town. So they booked a rehearsal studio and they went and practiced one of the nights. So I was in the club, and then Buggy texted me and said, I'll come down to the rehearsal studio and we'll have a jam after his session. So it was me on drums, Buggy on the guitar and vocals, DJ Cat, another friend of ours, on the bass. So it was really random. We just started playing a bunch of Ramones covers and Clash covers and stuff. It was really, really good laugh, really good night. Then the next day the Cretin Boys had their gig, so I got to see them play live. So the 2 bands came down from out of town, and that meant that in Buggy's flat there was him, me, and this whole band, Beer Wheels. So we were all crashing in like one room. It was pretty funny. Then that night Mighty Birds opened the show, then Beer Wheels played and Cretin Boys, and they were all absolutely fantastic and blew me away. I've bought all of their music off Bandcamp and I've been playing it on the radio show, so you might know some of it already. So the guys were doing a mini tour that weekend, which meant that after they played the club, all 3 bands were going to a place called Smolensk, where Mighty Birds are from, to play there. And it's pay to play over in Russia, a lot of places. So there was this really nice old guy who'd made this cool club in an industrial estate, where he'd covered the walls with posters and guitars and instruments, and he had set up a little stage, just basically giving DIY bands a platform to perform. So it was really, really nice of him, and they played there, and it was quite a long journey, and it was me and Cretin Boys in this car, and the drummer drove, and we had a really good laugh on the way up there, playing some songs and chilling out. And then they played the gig, drank a lot of vodka, danced a lot, and I was dancing with the singer from the Mighty Birds, and just really, again, got on great with everyone in the scene. They played amazing. And then that night there was a house party back at the Mighty Birds base, which is Casey's house, and it was really, really fun. This was my last weekend in Russia, so it was a really good end to it. Then the next day everybody was sitting in the garden at Casey's, which is beautiful, like covered in flowers, and it was really sunny that morning, and everybody was just like chilling out in the garden, and this guy was playing guitar, and it was literally just the perfect little moment. And I was so happy, really nice. Then Cretin Boys woke up, so we all got in the car and head back to Moscow. Once we got back to Moscow, me and Buggy spent the day together, just drinking some beers and having a laugh. Went to a Soviet cafe and drank some traditional Soviet beer. We just chilled out, talking about music all day. Then the next day, it was my last day, and I had to get my flight to Japan. So first off, I packed up my stuff. Then I head into central Moscow to meet up with the lead singer of punk faction Red Brigade, and his name was Vlad, and he gave a great interview in Red Square about his music, so that was really cool. Then after that, head back to meet Buggy at his place, grab my stuff. We decided to take the drone out to get that last bit of footage of Moscow before I left, but unfortunately the same thing that happened last time happened again, and it just went crazy, and it cut up all my hands. I was covered in blood just 2 hours before I had to be at the airport, so it was like really worrying for me. But Buggy handled it really well. He was great. He just went and ran to the pharmacy and got loads of bandages and helped me out, so that was really cool. And then he came with me all the way through Moscow on the metro to catch my train to get to my flight. And in the 10 minutes that we had left before we said goodbye and I got on my train, we managed to fit in a little interview together, so you can catch that one on YouTube. It was a really sad goodbye because I'd had such a brilliant time, made so many good friends there. I'd really like to return to Russia, and then off I went and caught my flight to Japan. So that's about it, up to date. Keep in touch and make sure that you follow us on wayoutradio.com. On Instagram and Twitter it's at wayoutradio. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to listen to the show this week, Thursday 3 till 5. Alright, take care, bye.
How is your experience on the floor?